Imagine being offered the chance to win billions of dollars, but the catch is you might lose your life in the process. That's the world of Squid Game, where 456 people risk everything in a system that's stacked against them from the start. While the show keeps you on the edge of your seat with tension and unexpected twists, at its core, it's about what people would do when faced with impossible choices in an unfair world. Through its cast of flawed but relatable characters and 6 intense games, Squid Game takes a hard look at class inequality, exploitation, and the way society dehumanizes the poor. So is Squid Game more than just a thrilling show? In this video, we're going to dive into how each of the 6 games shines a light on the harsh realities of life under capitalism and what it takes to survive in a deeply unequal system. Let's start with the characters. Each one represents a different struggle people face in a capitalist society. Seung-hyun, player 456, is the everyman. A dad buried in debt because of bad financial decisions, a failed marriage, and a gambling problem. He is basically the face of the working class. These are people who are trapped in poverty and gamble at the slimmest chance of financial freedom. Even though gi-hun is struggling, he tries to hang on to his morals, which makes him a symbol of hope. But the fact that he's in this situation at all shows how society pushes people to their breaking point. Then there's Cho Sang-ho, player 218, gi-hun's childhood friend who was supposed to be a success story. He made it out of their poor neighborhood and became a financial professional. But beneath his polished exterior, he's buried in debt and facing criminal charges for corporate fraud. Sang-woo shows how even those who make it in capitalism can still be ruined by it. As the games go on, we watch him grow more ruthless, willing to betray his friends to survive. And then we have Kang Se-byuk, player 067, a North Korean defector. She represents the truly invisible people in society, like the refugees and immigrants, and those who are barely scraping by. Her goal is deeply personal. She just wants to reunite her family and take care of her younger brother. Her story highlights the resilience of people fighting for survival in a world that offers them no safety net. Finally, we have Oh Il-nam, player 001. The elderly man with dementia. At first, he seems weak and vulnerable, but as the show goes on, we learn he is one of the masterminds behind the whole game. He represents the detached elite people who watch the suffering of others as entertainment, completely disconnected from the consequences of their actions. Now let's talk about the games themselves. Each one isn't just a life or death challenge, it is a metaphor for the brutal realities of capitalism. The first game, red light, green light, is simple. Move when the doll's back is turned, freeze when it looks at you, mess up and you're shot on the spot. This game introduces the theme of surveillance and power. The doll represents the elite, watching every move, ready to punish any mistakes. It mirrors how people in the real world live in constant fear of messing up, whether it's losing a job or missing a debt payment, which can lead to financial ruin. Next up is the honeycomb game. Here, players are given a fragile piece of candy and must carve out a perfect shape, but not everyone gets the same shape. Some are easier, some are nearly impossible. This game shows the inequality of opportunity. Some people are born with advantages while others must fight uphill battles from the start. It's a reminder that in real life, success often depends on luck and circumstances beyond our control. In Tug of War, it's all about strength at first glance. gi-hun's team, made up of physically weaker players, seems destined to lose, but they win by relying on strategy and teamwork. This game is a metaphor for how, in an unequal society, those who seem weak can still win through unity and smart planning. It shows that the oppressed can challenge the powerful if they come together. Then we get to Marbles, which is probably the most emotional game. Players must pair up with someone they trust, only to find out that one must win and the other must die. This game shows how capitalism pits people up against each other, even turning friends and allies into enemies. The betrayal of Ali by Sang-hoon is especially heartbreaking, representing how the most vulnerable, like immigrant workers, are often the first to be sacrificed in a system that values self-interest over loyalty. In Glass Bridges, players must cross a series of glass panels, some of which will hold their weight, others will shatter. The people who go first almost have no chance of survival, while those in the back can watch and increase their odds. This game represents wealth inequality, where the poor are often sacrificed and the rich benefit from their struggles, learning from their failures to avoid the same fate. Finally, Squid Game itself is the ultimate showdown between gi-hun and seung-hoon. It's a raw physical fight where everything else falls away, revealing the core truth of capitalism: survival at all costs. But in a surprising twist, gi-hun chooses not to kill seung-hoon, rejecting the system that turns people into monsters. Seung-hoon, on the other hand, can't handle the weight of his choices and ends his own life. In the end, Squid Game is more than just a survival thriller. It's a sharp critique of capitalism, inequality, and human nature. Every game, every betrayal, every twist points back to the real-world struggles with poverty and power. And gi-hun's final decision not to use his prized money forces us to ask ourselves, what is the real cost of success in a rigged system? And what does it mean to truly be free?